Ladies and gentlemen, it's hot. That's one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the basement. Ladies and gentlemen, and bass players around the world, and around Detroit, and around Pennsylvania, and all the little suburbs and everything. Welcome to the basement. That's Bassmint. And we just doing one of our roundtables. You know how we are. Sometimes we do interviews. Look like we about to interview Eric, but we not about to interview him. And we just talk about different things, and some people like to hear that on these episodes. Some people like for me to shut up and say, shut up and play. You know what I'm saying? The other people like, shh, quit playing. I want to learn about this guy. So we're gonna learn a little bit about these guys. So let me introduce our bass player. What's your name?
Charles Folks, out of Detroit.
Welcome to the basement. Pope, what's your name?
Folks, my name is William Popes.
Where do you reside, Pope?
Detroit, Michigan, right outside now. It's called Belleville, but it's right all Detroit.
So you stay out in Belleville.
Yes, sir.
They got a nice little island, little property area over there, man, by the airport.
Right.
Yeah, that's nice. Belleville, okay? Dimex, where do you reside, bro?
Westland, Michigan.
Westland, yeah. I remember one time I was coming home from the basement, and he was in front of me, and every turn I was gonna make, he made it first. So it looked like I'm following him. You know what I'm saying? I look like the NSA or FBI following him. I forgot to ask you, what kind of bass you playing?
I got Ibanez here.
What you got, Pope?
HMI Druid, he made it.
A custom made, only one in the world.
Only one, Pope series, Pope style. Pope
That's
edition.
the Pope,
Exactly.
Pope signature box.
I played this wonderful
Pope
bass.
and lights.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Y'all didn't know that? No, man. I thought you did that.
Love that.
He put a little light on in there.
Where's the light? Oh yeah, I see it. Don, what kind of bass you playing?
I got a Squire.
I don't believe you. Let me see it. Okay, how you like it?
It's nice.
Last time I saw you had a Tobias. How many basses you got?
I got 3.
73.
Okay.
The 4th one.
All right, now we also have with us.
What else?
It's a Fender Jazz 5-string.
What's your name, sir?
Mr. Steve Burkhalter.
Burkhalter. Where do you reside?
I reside in Oak Park.
Oak Park.
I live near the bass pimp, Gordon Spencer.
Oh, okay. The bass pimp, Gordon Spencer. Gordon Jazz bass man. Spencer.
Yep.
Okay, what kind of bass you got there?
A Sadowski 5-string.
A Sadowski. I don't believe you. Let me see it. Okay, I believe you now. He also works for Bass Gear Magazine, folks, and he's a wonderful writer and photographer, as well as bass player. Check him out. Google him. Also, we got with us, tell us your name.
Eric William Markley.
And the thing that me and him got in common, now if you heard him, he said Eric William. Those are his first 2 names. My last 2 names is Eric Williams. Ivan Eric Williams, Eric Williams Markley. So we cousins, man. Also over there, all the way, where do you reside, man?
I reside in currently in Shelby Township. That's right around 25 Mile and Mound.
Okay, that's only 25 miles away from here, because we basically at 1 mile. Like I was saying, all the way from Pennsylvania. Wow. Welcome to the basement, man. Tell us your name.
Gabriel 7.
Gabriel 7. How old are you, Gabriel?
12.
The youngest bass player to come in the basement and kill it.
Kill!
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Kill it!
I don't know, little ass mine killed it too. He was only 8 years old.
K-I-L-T, kilt.
Yeah, K-I-L-T. Yeah, that's how we say it.
Right.
Welcome to the basement. Now, where do you reside?
I'm from Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
What's the name of it again?
Williamsport.
Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Welcome to Detroit. If you notice, only 2 people said Detroit. They started naming off all them foreign cities, suburbs of Detroit. So, are you closer to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia?
Or Harrisburg.
Philadelphia.
It's down to the bottom.
Okay.
Harrisburg, actually, is closest.
Okay.
Is Harrisburg considered a big city out there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Pittsburgh and Philadelphia is the only ones with a football team, so
Yeah.
that's why I said that. But Harrisburg is pretty big. And then next to him, we got tell us your name. I messed up again. What kind of bass you got, man?
Carbon.
What kind of bass you got, Eric?
This is a PRS. This is actually his bass that I'm using tonight because the 5-string I normally have, I need to get some new strings for it. Just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay. What kind of bass you say you had, Gabe?
Carbon.
Carbon 6-string. Skip, what's your name?
Skip Simons, from one of the suburbs north of here, Shelby Township, Utica area. My bass is a heavily modified Lakeland Skyline 4401 in which they ripped out the active Bartolinis and threw in these Seymour Duncan bass lines, and it's the loudest bass I've ever had. And absolutely my baby.
Okay.
This gets buried with me.
Good. I've actually heard somebody play a bass so good that I wanted his bass to be my girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
My woman says, honey, I'm not worried about you messing around on me. You spend all your money on basses. There ain't no way you can spend it on
Now you can find your girlfriend named Basie. She'll never know what you're talking about. I'm going to see Basie tonight.
Yeah, but explain that to the family when I say I'm going to go home and slap the bass.
All right, and also hanging out with us in the basement, plugged up. Tell us your name, sir.
Alan Snoop Evans.
The big time heavy hitter in the basement with us. He gonna keep an eye on us and help us out here a little bit because I definitely got some questions for you. What kind of bass you got there?
Performance.
5-string?
Yes, sir.
A performance. All right. So. We just named all the plugged up people. Now unplugged, we have with us a future bass player, current violinist, but future bassist. Tell us your name.
Jamie Williams.
Jamie Williams, my niece.
Tell them what your stage name gonna be.
My dad made it up Jamie Elise, because that's her middle name.
Jamie Elise, all
I'm
right.
gonna use the last name.
Now see, that's what you do. When you playing stuff, sometimes you can actually achieve it if you plan at first, you know what I mean? So keep up the good work, and I can't wait to teach you lessons at Big Ives Teaches Bass Lessons.
That's 1-800-BIG-EYES.
Seriously, it's called bitmusic.com. Big Ives Teaches Music Lessons on Skype, in person, and all that kind of good stuff. And I got students all over the world.
Look them up.
So I had to plug myself for my niece's sake. Or else I wouldn't have did it. If my niece wasn't here, I wouldn't have plugged myself, you know what I'm saying? Also hanging out with us is, tell us your name.
Vivian Severin.
Vivian Severin is the mother of Gabe. Thank you, Vivian, for bringing him out.
Gabe the God.
Already from the basement. Told you that was gonna come up. Also hanging out in the basement is
In his basement.
and the owner and founder of the basement, Mr. Reginald Canty. Welcome to the basement, sir.
Oh, this is my place. I'm welcoming y'all.
Yeah. Thank you for having us. Also hanging out in the basement is, tell us your name.
Bob. Baby boy Bob.
That's
I'm his younger brother. Yeah.
Yeah, he said little, but I don't know. I think he's smaller than me, and I'm big eye. Again, a long intro. We the ones that's not playing. I do play bass. Reggie plays bass, but so we're gonna pick a roundtable topic we're gonna talk about, and today's topic is for starters. I just want to start with you, Snoop. Do you still practice, and how important is practice? And practice is the topic here. Do you practice?
Definitely. I practice every moment I can. Practice is very important. I find that whenever I pick up the bass, I can always learn something. So that's what's really addictive about it. You know, I can always grow. You can never outgrow it. You know, there's always something that's evolving. So I practice all the time.
So that's cool. I need to do some. Could you scoot, Gabe? Could you scoot your chair out more?
Towards that way?
Yeah, as far as you can, cause
And then that way I can kind of prop myself here.
yeah, that so he won't feel constricted.
Yeah, because he was kind of pushed up against the keys there.
So you won't feel bow constricted.
And what do you think about practicing, Gabe?
Position right now.
Do you think it's important, or do you practice?
Yeah, every day.
Why? Why do you practice every day?
So I can get better. Learning a lot of things.
Do you see improvement when you practice? Do you see yourself getting better at something that you try?
Yeah.
I always wanted to ask you this. Now, folks, I did an interview with him, but I always wanted to ask you about improvising. Improvising comes straight from the brain, and I heard you improvise. And where does it come from? What do you think your improvising come from?
Well, I learned a lot.
First, let me explain what improvising is, in case nobody knows. Improvising is a part in the song where you just, it's not really part of the song that you normally play. It's when they give you a solo and you got to do something straight off the freestyle and just do something. It's like improvise, just make it up right there on the spot. And how do you come up with yours?
Well, I practice a lot of patterns, and I use those in a lot of my solos. And a lot comes from my dad because he helps me a lot with different things for improvising.
Right, when you say patterns, do you have any names for those patterns, or are they just shapes on the bass that...
Just shapes.
I noticed when I talked to you about earlier, excuse me for I'm talking a lot, and I feel fire coming out of my mouth, so I want to deaden the fire when I talk to people. I noticed one time I talked to you, and like I asked you something, and you just, like the 10th fret of that A string. You know what note that is, the 10th fret of the A string?
Yeah, it's G.
See, how in the heck? That's the weakest part of the neck for people to know of the fretboard. But right off the rip, he told me what the 10th fret of the A string is right off the rip. And I bet if I ask some other people, I don't want to embarrass nobody. they have to go A, B, C, D, E. You know, start from the nut and work their way to it. But you smart. I saw what you did. You did the same thing I did. You know the 12th fret is an A, so you just go back a letter. So I bet if I ask you any fret, you can tell me what the note is, right? So practicing and knowing your fretboard is pretty important, I think.
I think that's the number one thing. Really.
Anybody got any?
Is know your fretboard first. Because once you know your fretboard, then everything else just kind of falls into place. You know, you start using, once you start realizing where the notes are, then you start realizing your placement on it, making sure you get that sweet spot on the fret. And
yeah, anybody else know the fretboard or suggestions on how to learn it? Hear it?
Practice with your eyes closed.
Wow.
Make sure you're in tune, and then just get to know where the notes are by feel.
Very good suggestion, man.
And if you need to help learn, sing it out.
Yeah, sing
the notes while you're playing them. You know, so if you want to go G, A sharp, C, know the notes that you're playing, and that way, it runs through your head. So then when it comes time to play, you're not thinking about it anymore. It's just doing it.
Also try playing the tune in different positions.
Yes, exactly.
So many guys get married down here.
Yeah.
No,
that's why they say know your instrument.
So
know it so well you're not looking down.
So you're in the same key basically. You just shifting it to a different position, basically.
Yeah, in other words, learn to tune different spots on the
I
bass.
still don't agree with them guys.
That's one of the things I see with guitar players, a lot of them. Especially a lot of newer guitar players, they get married to a capo and they don't learn how to play chords
Right, yeah.
up the neck. Well, it's the same thing with bass. You should know you should know you should be able to play a song here, the same song here, you play here. You shouldn't have to think about it, or here, and just know where that root is, slide out of that root, and then you know your 1-4-5 or your 1-2-5-1 or whatever.
A lot of people don't realize you got 6 middle C's on a 6-string bass.
Yeah, that's a lot of same pitch.
So all
right?
you're really doing is you're just picking on how bright or how dark you want that pitch to be to select whatever string you're going to be using.
Well, now that's getting deep right there. So does anybody have a suggestion on how, since we know we got to practice, anybody have a suggestion on how to learn the fretboard? Now, as a teacher myself, I got 3 surefire ways and methods in my curriculum, but I just want to know anybody got any suggestions on how do you learn the fretboard?
We did it by position studies, 4x4 exercises. So you learn first you open in your first 3 positions on the bass, and you know what those notes are going across the string, and make sure you know that before you progress up to the next 4. You do that 3 times, you done covered 12 frets.
Yeah. And then it's just repeat.
You do that 3 times, you done covered all 12 frets. And if you want to really get, and then instead of moving it up 4, just move it up 1.
Yep.
Okay,
That's form up 1.
that's very similar to what I call my vertical method. Very similar to my vertical method. And my vertical method, you learn. In my vertical method, you learn 4 frets.
Right.
I'll go ahead and tell y'all since we all together. You learn 4 frets. You learn the notes of 4 frets. That's the 3rd fret, the 5th fret, the 7th fret, and the 10th fret. In a vertical way, that means each string, you learn the notes of each string. Those 3 frets, so if you learn those 4 frets, you'll learn the whole entire fretboard off of those 4 frets. And if you want to know, wow, 4 frets to show me how to play, because you got 24 frets. How many frets you have?
This was 22.
How many frets you got? 24. How many frets you have?
24.
24.
You got 21.
21.
How many frets you have?
20. Actually, I think it's 20.
Let me see your fretboard.
Jazz board.
You got 21. How many frets you have? You probably have 20.
21.
Standard.
How many frets you have?
I think it's 20. There's 20.
22.
She's smart. You see, but you should know how many frets you have too. What you got?
There's one thing that hasn't been mentioned yet. That's scales.
Okay, we'll hold off on scale.
Yeah.
First thing you want to learn is your fretboard. That's one of the first things you want to learn is your fretboard. So, again, I got what's called a vertical method: 3, 5, 7, and 10. And once you learn those 4 frets, it'll give you it'll help you with all the notes for all 22 frets. Now, if you want to know how that's done, just contact me, folks. I'll help you out. Anything else on frets? You know your frets, man?
Yeah.
How you? Now the truth is, you don't have to know your frets, and you could be a millionaire on bass.
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't.
Right, and see, he get paid.
I know my ear. If I hear it, I can play it.
Yeah.
That was the way that I taught myself. So if you could, most people have to sit here and go, well, what fret is that? If you hit the note, now I know. You hum a note, I can find that note.
Yeah.
And
With the
especially
quickness.
with playing people, when people wanting you to play stuff, I know when you're in the studio, they may go, hold on, I'm hearing this, Snoop, did.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go one, hold on, you gotta, your ear has to be able to hear where that's at to get you where you're going.
So in that circumstance, it don't matter what the note is on the fretboard. You just got to do the thing.
For me.
You got to just play what's got to be played, right? And it don't matter what note it is.
No.
Until, you can study that later.
I know this note here is still gonna be the same note up here.
Exactly. So I guess that's a possibility that
Right, yeah.
you can just play, get the job done, but learn if you're in a learning state, learn your fretboard prior to
Right, yeah.
before you get that big studio gig. Just learn it before
Before you
that.
start learning,
If not,
before you start learning scales, anything else.
yeah.
I did it basically the same as Red said, but I went 5 frets instead of 4.
Okay, so
5 notes instead of 4 notes.
so that was our round table on. Anybody else have any fretboard input that I might not have thought of?
Well, just to reinforce what these guys were saying about the ear training thing is, I learned my notes and what they sounded like long before I started dealing with scales or any of that other stuff. Even on the first instrument that I learned, which was piano, like when I was very young. So yeah, ear training is just as important as learning where the notes are on the neck.
Yeah, but everybody can't sing though. You know, if,
No, you don't have
It has
to
nothing to do with
sing.
singing.
No,
that ain't got
You're just
nothing. I
training
don't
your
sing
ear
it out. I just,
Okay.
I hear it. Like
Close
if
your
you
eyes,
were to
close
hum
your eyes.
something,
That's a
then I'd have to pick out what you were humming. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you don't have to sing a G to play a G. You can just
If you hum, whatever you hum, and you can pick it out with anybody, they can probably pick out whatever note you hum. They should be able to pick that note out. If you go there it is.
I'm glad you know there's a lot of people who were taught
just did.
formally that they can do it by pitch. They can recognize pitch like that.
Yeah,
But the
that's
guys who
right.
play by ear, they recognize pitch intervals. They know how far the notes are from each other. You know, even if they're at the front or the end of a phrase,
Yeah.
something just clicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know what the pitch is.
And I think that also has to do with just what Snoop was saying too, was the more you practice doing it,
See, that's
the
what
more
I'm doing. I
it
don't practice
becomes,
enough.
it's almost like talking, or you didn't just sit there and just practice talking. After you've done it for a while, now you just know how to talk. So now when you get ready to play, if you're in a jam session or whatever, you may not come into the song knowing what the song is. After they've went through the first pass, you know enough to where, okay, I heard where it started, okay, I heard the middle, okay, now I can jump in with you. You know, unless they're doing something really intricate and it may take you a second to catch it, but a normal, you can normally pick it up, or at least that's the way I look at it.
Or to use a phrase, since I'm a mailman,
Yes, sir.
you know, each of those little houses has an address.
Yeah, there you go. Right, and you just got to go to that address so that I can put the mail in the box.
all right,
Yeah,
y'all,
let somebody else finish.
y'all crazy. Well, look, these folks, these are suggestions for practicing and learning the fretboard.